Hello, everybody. Welcome to Night Sanctum. Today we're a little bit off schedule, but we hope that you have a fun time, and we got some pretty good acts for you today. Welcome to the Night Sanctum. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Over here we have Mr. Pyramid Head, CJ. We have Jato as Freddy Krueger, and would you like to introduce yourself, Star?
I am, well, like you said, Star. I have no idea what I'm wearing.
Today, we are going to be talking about creepypastas, horror, and ARGs in the middle of May. Well, not really the middle, but
Yay!
still. We're gonna have a fun time today. Well, first thing off of this, who here remembers the whole craze of 2012 and creepypastas being on the rise? Of a whole bunch of teenagers going in and, well, enjoying getting into horror, for example.
Yes.
I remember
didn't
a
exactly
lot of.
follow that.
I remember it completely because I was one of them.
Ah, sames.
I didn't really follow myself, but I had a lot of friends who were really into it. Especially some of them actually trying to dress up as these horror people. They especially like those scientific ones. The
Scientific, Russian sleep experiment, all these things that
Yeah,
people
I
would dress up
remember.
as for Halloween. Stuff like that.
Yes.
Just really fun
I
stuff.
remember the sleep experiment.
Russian sleep experiment. Did y'all know that people think that that stuff was real?
I
Yes,
did.
I can.
A lot of people
Yeah.
thought it was
There
real.
was
A lot of people thought it was real.
Yeah, that was fake.
Oh, no.
That's
The-
because it was very convincing of a story.
It is a good story. No, I wouldn't say it's convincing. It still has its flaws. But a lot of people, especially since a lot of us were dumb children, thought it was real. But it turns out, yeah. For the longest time now, if you have any, like, lick of, well, anything to uphold with the creepypasta communities and stuff like that, it's best to assume everything's fake right off the bat. Because otherwise you're just gonna be
Oh, yeah,
disappointed or fucking stuff like that. Or you end up with really
Oh.
stupid people like the Slender Man situation. Of people believing something's real and then it blows way the fuck out of proportion.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because
God.
Slender Man holds a really big, dear place in my heart. Honestly, he's over there behind the corner. Y'all will get to see that in a later episode. I know I've said that for the recent thing now, but just hold your horses. We'll work on getting that set up. But the whole thing with Slender is that it started on a forum board about something. It was called the Something Awful Forums. It was a thing of, hey, send in this really badly photoshopped art and see if you can get some chills running down people's spines. So this one guy had a picture of a park, painted it black and white, and then put a ominous, sly figure in the background. And that's kind of how Slender Man started off. And because a lot of us were children around that time of 2012 and stuff, a lot of people got really stupid with it, started believing in it a bit too much, started thinking that these things were real, started kind of basically being kind of a distasteful word for this, but they were kind of schizos. Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I have a reason I was scared of it so much was because I was a child. They're very impressionable.
we
You
were
know how that
we
shit
were
goes?
children, I understand, but what I'm saying is that I still know fucking adults that think that that stuff is real. And
No,
that's
yeah, the adults one.
like it's just
Like,
as
that's
bad
the
whenever
weird
it's another one that happened similar to that was Lavender Town for Pokemon. Everybody played Pokemon. A lot of people
Oh.
played Pokemon. Lavender
Oh,
Town
yeah.
was completely fine. I still have people to this day that tell me that they get headaches and shit whenever they hear Lavender Down syndrome. When for a fact, I played with these people completely fine. They were completely fine when they were younger and they were growing up with this stuff. Never felt nothing until the stories started coming out. And they're like, oh, mass hysteria,
There was a
everybody
cool
feels
thing
it.
About that fact, it's the whole thing around that is that it didn't actually happen, but people so impressionable can actually start to fake those
That's
effects
called
when the
that's
shit
called
was
mass
played.
hysteria. It's kind of a similar thing
Yes,
to
and that's-
the placebo
That's how I
effect.
got into
They think it's going to
that's
happen,
how I
so
got
it
into
happens.
psychology and everything. Because it's the whole deal of you think it's gonna happen, so it happens, and that's what intrigues me so much. That in your brain,
These people
it
physically
makes it
think that they're
work,
going to get
even though
sick
it's
because
not
of the song,
actually-
and they start to actually feel
Yes.
sick. And
That's
that's
the
what
fuck-
I don't.
that's the cool thing
that's
about
what I've always gotten the thing of. It's literally a thing of don't believe it. It can't hurt you.
Yeah.
That's where I've always
It's
been on
an-
the
it's
stance of
annoying,
if you don't
but-
believe it, it won't hurt you. These people believed in it
In
so hard it
psychology
hurt them.
standards, that's the whole psychology of it, because it's not actually working. It's the fact that you're believing the tune actually can hurt you is what's letting it do it.
Actually, I'm
That's what
unsure
I like
about this.
about
Don't
how
feel
it
free to
works.
quote me in the comments if I'm wrong about this. But I think that whole thing that happened about the girl getting stabbed by because those two girls in the Slender Man story, I think one of them actually ended up being schizophrenic, which not to fucking throw shade at anybody schizophrenic at all. That's not what I'm trying to imply, but that's
We
the only
respect
way.
everybody with their mental
That's the
illnesses.
only way I could fully see somebody succumbing to a story like that. Like, it's almost kind of like this whole thing about, like, to me, it kind of feels like the thing of with Stephen King and, what was that game? Not game. What was that book? Rage? Where it's about that kid that became basically a school shooter, then everybody feels like on par with him and stuff. I feel it's a similar situation of there is no point A to point B with that. But
Yeah.
I can see where the grayness on the line gets connected and stuff. And I hate how these two here, Jato and Star, aren't as upheld with the creepypasta community as me and CJ are, for example. But I will say the fact that even they know about those really bad stories, it kind of hurts. It kind of sucks, like, knowing that something big that you're into having something big happen and that being what it gets famous for, and then everybody being like, oh, that's kind of fucked up. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
It
knew,
was-
I knew
for
of
the good
Slender
things.
Man before that event.
Oh,
I
no,
knew of it before
obviously,
the
I-
event, thanks
oh,
to,
no,
like,
obviously,
PewDiePie
I
and
understand.
Markiplier, but
yes. And that's honestly really
Yeah.
good, but I'm saying when it's a situation of, like, nobody knew about certain stories until you hear the really fucked up stuff. And then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
they only know it for the fucked up stuff. They never even read the stories. They don't know anything about it. It's like, it kind of loses the meaning, and it becomes a game of telephone at that point of them telling people, then them telling people, and it just gets washed down the drain until you eventually end up with something kind of along the lines of Five Nights at Freddy's. Where
Yeah.
stuff just becomes so flanderized and story-based that you can't follow it no more.
Sorry about that.
What did that get me?
I don't know why that got you. But,
I'm like,
here,
Because we're in such a serious moment that anything
I am
that
sorry,
seems
yes.
uplifting at all is going to be hilarious.
I will say,
My
I
sister's
do
texting
love-
me, sorry.
I will say I definitely do love the whole faction thing that happened behind the rise of Slender Man in our culture of how he basically, it feels like Slender Man and the creator of Slender Man basically jump-started a new era of horror, because what we had before was Ghostface, Freddy Krueger, Silent Hill, and all of these were like such a different take
Movies.
of very much movies or older games and stuff. And I feel like Slender was a return to simpleness, so to speak. Like, Slender Man didn't require a lot of detail. Literally, his whole shtick was he's scary because he has no face. You literally gave a faceless character a fucking game, and he became horrifying. He became an icon, so to say. And I love what horror communities can do whenever it comes to stuff like that. Hell, some of this stuff even starts as a joke. Like, you know, the whole story of, oh, on the car door there was a hook! Like, the whole joke of that, the whole thing behind that is...
The hash
Ow,
slinging.
ow. The hash slinging slasher, yes. But the whole thing behind that is that it becomes enjoyable for the sheer fact of all of these things are stories in a similar manner. Like the whole thing of the hook. Slender Man is our version of that hook story of, sadly, I will say because of the era of the internet, the stories become very washed out and everybody knows them instead of it becoming folklore, like the whole thing of, oh, the hook, oh, there was a Wendigo story out in the woods, and then you tell that to your friends at a campfire and make them piss themselves. Now it's a thing of, if you get any of these stories, like from secondhand accounts and stuff like that, chances are you might have heard it online already and be like, hey, I know this story. And it kind of gets rid of the sense of fear because it's so known. However, every once in a while you come across a diamond in the rut of, or in the rough. I'm not so familiar with that phrase. However, also, CJ, I see that your knife is in front of you. Pyramid Head's knife is actually in front on the fucking table. It's been there for a few episodes. Not sure if people dropped that. Now we get to actually acknowledge it. See,
I'm afraid of sitting beside him.
yeah, he's huge. He's a fucking beast. CJ, what's a horror story that you can remember, like, very fondly, or, like, remember most often? When you think of horror, what comes to your mind?
Creepypasta era?
Yeah, like creepypasta, stories, like Wendigos, stuff like that. Like anything that might appear on bedtime stories.
If we're going off a story that I'm very fond of, which by fond I mean actually made me piss myself because I was 8. So I remember being into Sonic a lot. Like I used to play all his games when I was little. And when I got into my creepypasta phase, I was like, I started off my first creepypasta story I watched.
Let me guess. Can you feel the sunshine? Does it brighten up your day?
I hate you. Shut up.
I already know. Yes.
The iteration of Tales Doll, not the first one, but I think it was the second or third one, where it wasn't just a game. I remember watching a video where they didn't state it was just the game, but there was 2 other ways of doing it, which was the Bloody Mary way.
The Bloody Mary way, where it's in the mirror and you have to like play the song backwards, and you see a pair of glowing red behind you.
So
God, no.
the one that scared me wasn't the bathroom one. It was the original one, even though I did just say iteration, but like. The original one where you unlock Tails Doll and then you proceed to chase. It was one of the game modes in Sonic R where it was tag. You would tag everyone in a certain order, and then you tag Super Sonic last. After that, it would
I
go
remember
to a
that
screen
story.
of the Tails Doll thing. And after that, like the whole power outage shit, and then you see like
appeared in a hallway, didn't it?
Like a glowing crystal. It was in a hallway.
The guy like went to bed and it appeared in the hallway or something.
No, it went to bed, and since I was watching a video on it, they could add like sounds to it. So I remember there being a sound specifically of it was in the hallway, and then as the video was ending, you could hear like scratch marks coming closer to like the mic.
Yeah.
Which scared the shit out of me because of that. But not only that, when I was like 6 or 7, there was I remember fucking sleeping in the living room one night, and in the kitchen there was like a a red like nightlight or something. Like maybe it was a lamp. But I remember
Oh.
looking to the left, seeing that red, and like actually almost shitting myself. I was like, wait a fucking minute.
You want to know what's a story that got
God.
me a long time ago? I won't say this is my main one, but you telling that experience just sparked something in me. It's the story where it's like... Okay, there's two stories. I'll tell the second one after. Okay, the first one is basically a little girl and her mom. The woman goes to bed and leaves her daughter. In the middle of the night, the
Oh,
daughter
I think I know what
wakes
you're
up.
talking about.
Yeah, the daughter wakes up, hearing her mom calling for her, and she's like saying Lucy or Diane or something, like yelling the little girl's name, like calling her from down the staircase. The little girl goes outside the door and then looks around, starts to go down the hallway because she keeps hearing it downstairs. Suddenly the mom grabs her cups over her mouth and says, "Shh, I hear it too." And then and then you just hear the fucking mom's voice slowly getting closer. And then it gets distorted, and then it gets, Lucy! Lucy! Like, it gets really loud, and then it just jumps at the camera. I'm like, why the fuck would they animate this? And that shit fucking got me. I'm like, oh, that's the worst fucking thing
what
of
that story was called.
some sort of imposter.
but
It's called
I
I
remember-
Hear It Too or something.
Oh, I just nicknamed it the Mimic because of how it came at me.
Yeah,
It
basically.
just felt like a
I
mimic to me.
remember
I am
I had
actually
a
shivering.
friend who actually tried to get me to watch videos like that before.
Yeah, we
This
tried.
one story.
Hmm.
It was kind of an interesting story. Pretty much, it was these files, I guess you could call them, and each file is based on creatures.
Oh, you're talking about the
SCP?
SCP Foundation.
SPP. Yes, that's
Mm.
it. Thank you.
SCP
One of the
Foundation
ones
is
that I liked
almost...
the most.
I will say SCP Foundation is almost its own complete thing that we'd probably have to make a video on, but it does definitely have a piece in the creepypasta, like, era. Like, 173
Pretty much-
first spawned around that time.
One of my favorites that I seen of that was
Hmm.
the one where the creature would actually haunt anyone that had an image of him.
You're
Just
talking
even a
about...
picture.
You're talking about the Shy Guy. The Shy Guy is the one of, if you saw his face, no matter where you are on Earth, he'll hunt you down. And it was
Yeah.
a thing of, he is so detrimental because he'll regenerate, he can do all types of stuff. Literally a fucking thing like out of X-Men. And it's super nuts.
God,
That
it
was one of the
sounds
first ones I
terrifying.
saw, and it just had the most connection. That it was
The biggest impact.
Yes. I will say,
Yeah.
Because the fact that it didn't even have to be the full picture, it could be a shard
exactly.
of a picture.
It
and
could
still
be a
count.
fucking
Yeah.
pixel of his face, and it'll get you.
Wow.
I will say, fucking the
that's
second story I
how
had.
dark it was.
The second story I had is also interesting, and y'all will fucking hate this. Okay, so,
Uh-oh.
girl and her dog. I know, good way of starting off. Okay,
Yeah, wait
girl.
a minute.
Bork,
Okay.
Wait a
bork,
minute.
bork, bork, bork.
Okay, a girl and her dog. The girl wakes up in the middle of the night. She is having a restless fucking sleep. She goes in the middle of the night to the pantry, grabs a glass, gets a fucking glass of milk, maybe a drink of water, something along those lines. Comes back, pets her dog, reaches under her bed, and pets the dog. And the dog licks her hand. She continues having a really restless night. It's like 2 a.m. now. She goes and gets another glass of water, comes back, reaches down, pets her dog, and it licks her hand. Third time around, does the exact same thing. Then, suddenly, it's 6 o'clock a.m. in the morning. She fell asleep one more time. She decides to get up. She feels something under her feet. It's a puddle. She looks down and sees that it's blood. She also sees a note on the floor, written in blood. She looks under her bed. It's her dead dog. On the note it reads, humans can lick too.
Oh my god.
Fucked up story. That shit was another
Oh
one that
God,
got me from my
no.
fucking childhood. That was told to me by a fucking friend of mine while I was in high school.
That was a good one. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
That's
But-
what I enjoy about the whole fact of creepypastas, of if you can tell them within a certain period of time, like around a campfire or something, they just basically come off like typical folklore stories. And they're fun to tell because it gives you that chill of, ooh, that's fucked up, or the stuff behind, like something behind you. And I like the idea of
Yeah.
it just being fun stories. Whenever people take it too far and start thinking they're realistic, is when it starts to get to me. I'm like,
hyper realistic blood. Oh yeah.
okay, that I like that for the meme of it because it's cringy. But the whole thing is
And then
like
turn around, and
whenever
then there's
people are
blood.
like, oh, because it's a real thing, let's make movies off it. I'm like, no, it's not a fucking real thing. Make a movie off of it because it's a good story. Like,
Yeah.
these motherfuckers, like, don't even get me started. The Slender Man movie appalled me. I got better mileage from the fucking video series known as Marble Hornets. Go check that out if you're a Slender fan and haven't checked it out by now already. But when it comes to the whole thing of Slender, they did him wrong. They did him dirty, like in the movie was. Like they tried and stuff, but it's like all the stuff that comes with being Slender Man.
They didn't have the proper magic of it.
They didn't do anything worth. How do I say this? They didn't. It'd basically be like pulling the Flash from DC and not giving him any of the Speed Force powers. Like, it's a thing of you gave it a name just so you could sell it for bucks. You didn't
Yeah.
uphold the source material, is what I guess I was trying to get at. They didn't uphold the source
Yeah.
material really well. But that's not to say that you can't, like, make it good. I'm really hopeful for the Russian sleep experiments movie, if they ever decide to fucking do that. Mainly by the sheer fact of there's not a lot to go wrong if you keep it to the fucking script. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they're gonna add some filler and stuff that wasn't in the original story because they have to make it run for 2 hours. Go figure. But I also enjoy a lot of the creepypastas that didn't have to be, like, they didn't have to be scary. Like, they started off with scary undertones, but they didn't have to be scary. Like another good one, back on the Pokemon thing. Strangled Red. I really enjoyed Strangled Red because it has a thing of, it makes you feel. It goes in a big circle of, oh, you're not the protagonist of Pokemon Red. It turns out you're actually the protagonist before it's somewhat of a prequel to Pokemon Red. Then it builds on an entire fucking lore that was unadded to the original Pokemon game. And honestly, I wish there was a mod for it because that would be fucking badass to play, playing a prequel to Pokemon
there might
Pokemon
be.
Red.
That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually probably is a ROM hack of it, because I remember there's a lot of different ROM hacks.
Oh yeah.
I remember this
Speaking of ROM
one
hack- You just
that had
sparked
one
my memory.
for-
So there was this Pokemon creepypasta that actually got a ROM hack made off of it called Pokemon Black.
Was
I
the one
think-
with the
yeah,
ghost
That-
on
it
the
was
front?
I
It was the
remember that
one with the ghost. So you have this ghost, and like it didn't do anything. So you'd go through the entire Pokemon game, like normally, but with the ghost.
Yeah.
And then after you beat the four, what are they called again? I haven't played
The Elite Four.
the Elite Four. It would cut to black, and it would say 4 years later or some shit like that.
It actually cut forward,
After
yeah.
that, it would cut forward, and then it was like the entire village was dead, and
And they
you were, like,
spawned
an
in
old man
Lavender
at that
Town.
point.
Yeah.
And you like spawned in Lavender Town, and you fought the ghost, and all you could do was struggle, which hurt you. And then what? Like I don't remember at the ending, but like after you die, something would happen.
I remember that there was a whole thing another thing that got added to Pokemon because of this was you remember the whole thing of whenever you're going through Lavender Town, it says, "Oh, you have a white hand on your back or something," and like it's a thing
What?
supposed to make you think. Yeah, this was an actual thing in
Yeah.
Pokemon Fire Red, Green, and Blue. Whenever you're in Lavender
on
Town,
entry to Lavender Town,
when you're
it would give you
when you're in Lavender Town, you talk to somebody and they ask if you believe in ghosts. If you say yes, then they say, "Oh, so there are believers." But if you say no, it says, "Oh, then I guess that white hand on your back is just my imagination to fuck with you." And I'm
Huh.
like, "Oh." And something spawned from that known
Oh.
as the White Hand Pokemon, which is basically a decaying
Yes.
hand that spawns. And at the top of Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town, there's this creature known as Buried Alive.
buried alive.
Yes. And everybody,
And he had
And
he had
if-
2 of them.
he has 2 white hands that would destroy you in battle. But if you manage to beat him, you would
But
actually
his
get a
Pokemon
credit
team,
scene.
His Pokemon team, I think, was Gengar, 2 white hands, and a fucking Mewtwo. I don't know why it's
No.
Mewtwo, but
Oh yeah, it was a bloody Mewtwo.
was it? Yeah, it was a bloody Mewtwo, which would, if you even got to that point, would one-shot anything.
Almost, yeah,
The
basically.
only way to beat that
Wow.
Mewtwo would to have Hyper Potions, which aren't obtainable at that point in the
Mhm.
story, and to have maxed out Pokemon. So you either have to get really lucky, or you just have to cheat. Because
And then at the end
the
of
way they
if
made
you
that
would
fight was
die,
so unwinnable.
if you actually beat him, you would get a after credits and be like, "Oh shit, that's actually supposed to be the ending to Pokemon." Which none of this is canon, by the way. None of this is actually in the games. This was just a big story that was made because of, oh, what if we added this ending to Pokemon? But if you lost, you would have Buried Alive eating your player, eating Red. And it would be fucking horrifying.
God.
It was gruesome, but it was like just pixelated. And these were the funny stories that people would tell around campfires and shit.
Wait, what's
Don't
that other
forget
Pokemon
about,
one that something silver? Lost silver?
Lost Silver.
Silver.
Yeah,
yes.
Lost
Mm.
Silver.
Would you like
So, I
to
don't know nothing
explain
about
that one,
You want to
CJ?
give me a small?
Considering that's more your forte,
Why?
I'm not so rememberful on fucking Lost Silver, considering I didn't read it
So
until way
Lost
later.
Silver was a version of Heart Silver or whatever that one was called.
Gold or silver?
Soul silver.
It wasn't even.
Soul
It
Silver.
wasn't even
So
Soul
Lost
Silver.
Silver
It was
was
Gold
a-
and Silver from the original Pokemon series on Game Boy.
Yeah, it was the silver version of that one, and it was an old cartridge of it. Like it was bought once before, so it was pre-owned. But basically, this guy
It was
goes
like a
into
beta
game
ROM.
shop. Yeah, he buys it, and then he opens the game. And the game already having a save file, he opened it because in the old Pokemon games there never was really a way to reset,
Yeah.
except
Yeah.
for I didn't get to go into the cartridge.
No, it's if you did
Anyway.
start, select, and A and B at the same time, it would like wipe your entire fucking thing. But there was no way to actually get rid of an actual save at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he opened it, and it looked normal when he was looking around, but after looking around, he realized there never. So he spawned. What is this thing called? He spawned the roof of a house.
Oh.
Is what it is. Is when he loaded into, and he looked at his badges and everything, and he had 999, Poke dollars. He had all 8 badges, and he was thinking about it being a hacked game, which it kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
when he gets out of the menu, he realizes there's not a door to get off the roof. So after a few minutes of literally pushing his character against the wall like what everyone does, he found a door behind the pillar, which was hidden. After that, it's really fuzzy. I think after that he goes into a corridor, which he has to go all the way down the corridor. and there's a sign on the bottom of that corridor that says "Turn back."
Mm.
And if you were to say, I think if you were to say yes, nothing would happen. But if you were to say no, it would your what is the Pokemon, the Fire Armadillo Pokemon? What is it called again?
Fire armadillo.
Yeah, the one with
Cyndaquil?
like this.
Oh,
Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil. Oh,
Cyndaquil.
the shrew. Yeah.
Instead of saying it fainted, it would just straight out say it died, which then it would be taken from your party. And the cool thing I think about Lost Silver is that as you're going through these stages of Lost Silver, there's different messages in your Pokemon. Like it would.
Oh yeah,
replace
you
your
would.
Pokemon with
you
different
would-
unknowns.
Yeah, different sets of unknowns that
Aw.
would spell out different things, like hippopotamus. No, I'm messing with
No, not him. Fuck you.
you.
So it would spell out words like "he died" or "it's too late" or
Or your fault,
something else. I don't
or
remember all
something.
Your fault. Yeah, your fault or something. And near the end of the creepypasta, he fought what seemed like Red.
Was this the
which
whole
had
thing with the
a-
pink Celebi?
The half Celebi.
The,
Celebi that was
the
literally
pink
torn in
dead
half.
Celebi with Destiny Bond. That
Yes.
if
So,
you
Celebi
fought
had
it, you would kill
Destiny
yourself.
Bond, and then it would. Yes, I think that's what this is, because it does like split pain or something for the Celebi, and the Celebi literally. If you look at the sprite is half there, and it's not just half there like being half
There were
it's
gore
gone.
pixels.
It actually, yes, there were gore pixels. If you were to look at the other half, you would see it was literally torn in half. But there was Pikachu and Celebi on Red's team, and Pikachu would basically kill most of your party,
Yeah.
and then you'd kill Pikachu. And then on the very last Pokemon, Celebi would use Destiny Bond, which would kill both the Celebi and your Pokemon.
hmm
And then
God.
the next phase would happen.
So it was literally an unwinnable
Throughout-
battle.
It's unwinnable, but it's more draw than unwinnable.
Yeah, it's
because
more
both of
draw.
them lose. But basically, Red goes on to say something about like, you shouldn't have done this. It's been a minute since I read the story, but it basically goes on that you killed all of Red's Pokemon while Red killed all your Pokemon. There's no feint in this
Yeah.
thing, kind of thing.
There's no
So,
saving them
after
now.
that, you would black out. After that, you would black out because you lost all your Pokemon, and you'd wake up in some sort of like large grave. The
Mm.
way it looks, and that was like basically the end of the creepypasta. Not only that, when throughout the creepypasta you'd lose limbs, like straight
Oh,
up lose
God.
limbs.
And then the end of your player card, you just be. Better word for it, but fuck Nugget. There's literally nothing left except, like, just the torso and
It would
head.
literally be like a chicken nugget. Because I think throughout the first piece you lose is an arm, you lose your other arm, and then you lose both your legs at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
God.
So you would then wake up in a grave, and that's basically the end. It would start playing like the sad
Lavender
think it was
Town
the
theme
credits
or the
music from
tower
Pokemon.
music.
No, I think it was the tower music, but it's played like some sad music.
Mm.
And after that, I think a text box opened up that said, "There's nothing that can be done now." Like sort of saying you're.
If you
you're
tried to
gone.
continue anything,
And-
it would just pause you. Yeah.
So the only way to close it would be turning off the device, which he did, and he then proceeded to take the. I guess I don't think it was one of the things where he destroyed it, but I think he took it out and
Hid it away in a box or something.
He tried to give it. No, I remember this. He tried to give it back, and the guy wasn't there anymore.
Oh, so he pulled a fucking.
It was a
He
yard
pulled a
sale.
Gremlins.
Yeah, it was a yard sale, and basically he tried to go after the guy that started the yard sale, but the house was up for sale, meaning he was gone.
The guy was gone. Okay.
It was either the house was sold or the house was literally gone. It was one of those two.
Yeah.
But overall, Lost Silver really kickstarted because there's so much stuff with Lost Silver. If you went to go on YouTube, Like, they made so much about it because it was one of the, like, in my eyes, crossed over. If you went to Creepypasta story,
Up. That was a
but
like
to other people, it seemed like a, what do they call it? Not a confidential, but like more of a big story that withhold the Creepypasta fandom.
Yeah.
As you can see with like people making like Ben drowned images and Jeff the Killer, Slenderman being one of the first, Jeff Killer also being one of the first, and then Ben drowned and Eyeless Shag and everyone would join them as time went on.
Yeah.
Now I never really got into the whole mansion shit. Mind my words, but there was supposedly a mansion thing with all of them in it.
I will say.
Which would be like, oh.
I will say, to get off the Pokemon topic, what do y'all think of, like, I don't know, creatures, monsters, hell, Bigfoot?
Xenomorphs.
Yeah, I mean xenomorphs. I'm
That's not
talking,
really a
I'm talking more
creepypasta, it's more or less just
folklore.
actual
That's
art.
that's just a movie monster, which, yeah.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. So okay,
My
Bigfoot,
dad loves Bigfoot. He believes in Bigfoot. He's like the biggest
fan of Bigfoot.
Hmm.
So I guess I could believe it, but at the same time, it's like, where are they? You're running out of forest to hide.
I'm
Come
honestly in a
say hi.
50-50 on them as well. I will say, when it comes to cryptids, I'll have to say my top favorites have to be, how do I say this? My top favorites have to be Mothman, because I really like Mothman.
Lamp.
Yes, Lamp. I also like, I like this one because it sounds crazy. The Yaramayahu, which is a type of vampire. It's kind of crazy. It's a little.
I once heard of
it's a little.
chupacabra.
Star, you're Mexican, so it makes sense.
No, I saw it on YouTube. Asshole.
I honestly, that's one of the few that I can't believe anymore. I like to
I know, right?
think of chupacabra, like everything that comes up chupacabras, it just becomes mangy coyotes, like coyotes that have scales and skin conditions and stuff, and are
And
mangy.
there is a type of dog that doesn't have a lot of fur.
The
shown in the
Zoilokunti or
movie
something?
Coco.
It's like the Zoilokunti or
Something like that.
something like that. Stuff like that.
it's
They
a
have all
mix,
types.
It's a breed. It's a mix of a breed.
It is definitely a breed. It's
Yeah.
kind of a similar thing that happens with the Sphinx cat. Hell, those dogs
And
actually
then,
end up
give
looking a
them
lot like
rabies,
Anubis.
Of course, they're gonna look like.
They're gonna look like
Yeah.
some sort of monster.
yeah.
If we're going off of folklore, I think the monster I was really intrigued with was it was one of the SCP ones, but it was the one that caught my eye. It was, I think, what was the name of it?
1738. Hi.
No,
I got something. Hello.
it wasn't the statue. It was another one that was kind of like the statue, but I can't remember the name of
I was
it.
gonna say it wasn't anything by Trevor Henderson, was it? Siren Head in them.
I don't know. Siren Head is a good one, but
Siren
no, I
Head.
don't think it was.
I don't know. A little piece of me still connects the whole thing to the SCP stuff because everybody and their mom fucking said the whole thing about the SCP Foundation and Siren Head.
Now wait a damn minute. That ain't my
See-
child.
But
I can't believe in Siren Head. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I
Yes, it
can't either.
works.
I like the idea of the story though. That's the whole point. Like the whole thing about
I don't know the story.
there's no story. It's pictures. It's a story told to you via pictures. Because
Oh.
imagine you're in a dark forest and you look around, and then you look around, you see a whole bunch of trees, then you do a double take, you look a second time, suddenly, two trees are no longer there anymore.
Oh.
And then out of nowhere, you
So
just
I like
hear
how that was
cracking.
Inspired of just the old
You hear
siren
cracking.
system just failing.
Exactly, yeah.
Honestly, I like the more take on it when he could mimic voices, because I like.
I
the
do
whole,
like the thing of he can mimic voices, phone calls, police radios to try and get to lure people, to get people to come to him, sort of thing. That's almost the
Yeah.
same thing as that mimic thing of the girl calling for the woman calling for the little girl, sort of thing. Like, the whole thing of mimicry is the most fucking horrifying thing.
Oh, it is, because you don't know until you see it.
You don't know until you're already in the hug. And that's when you
When
realize
you're
that
in
that's
the
not your
trap,
friend.
That's when you
Yeah.
realize.
You realize that that's not your friend. That's also why I'm
That's
very
like-
heavily inspired by the movie John Carpenter's The Thing. I believe a
Oh,
lot
God, I
of
hate
stuff that
that.
has to do with
Oh,
mimics.
no,
It not-
no.
Yeah, the fucking
It not only mimics someone's
thing.
voice, but the entire appearance, which
it
got me.
it becomes
And
you.
memories.
The
And
only
the
thing it couldn't
memories.
mimic was, transplaced organs and metallic things. In it.
Non-biologicals.
So if you had like
Yeah.
say braces on, if you
Yeah.
had braces on, and all of a sudden you didn't have braces, well, guess who we're shooting?
Or an arm brace inside
Burning
your socket.
alive.
It spits it out. Yeah. Good times. I will say, and I'm just gonna state this now. I hate the idea of anything being off limits when it comes to folklore. Because these are stories meant to be passed down through not generations of specific people, but between friends, between family, between people alone, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
However, I will say there are some taboo topics, but I will get to those later. What do you think, Jado? What are you thinking? You're mumbling.
Oh, I was just thinking about this one old movie I remember. It kind of felt like a creepypasta the way you guys are talking about.
Honestly, it might be inspired. Tell me about it.
It was an old movie where pretty much it's this woman who was kind of like an outcast. She had a doll, and all that no one that actually was a friend and all that, and the
Yeah.
doll got damaged and all. She fell in love with this one guy. Pretty much at the end, she started to go around and take body parts of the favorite body parts of these people that she knew,
Yeah.
and build a big version of a doll out of the body parts.
Wow.
And towards the end, she was missing an eye, but so she actually stabbed her own eye out to give it to it.
Oh, God.
I have not seen a
And as
creepypasta
she's
off that,
bleeding,
but that is
as
interesting.
she's bleeding out with her eye gouged out, she's laying on the doll she made out of all these human body parts. And guess what happens next?
Doll comes
It
alive.
comes alive.
I am
The
intrigued.
doll is comforting her. The doll is petting her hair.
Oh my God.
That's how they end it.
Believe it or not, but
I'm
the
walking
song
on
is
air.
what got me into.
I was just
The
gonna
song
say
was-
that, but I didn't know if we could.
Oh,
Believe
don't
it or
worry, as
not,
long
but
as
the
it's not
song
within a
is
certain
what got
amount.
me into. I don't want to
Sorry,
say it got
CJ.
me into the gore, but it got me onto like the intriguing topic of horror gore, if you know what I mean.
How so? Specify.
As to speak, like, so it didn't get me into straight gore. It gave me into like the whole trap thing, where it's like you could live or you don't. You know, make your choice kind
Saw.
of deal. And
Saw.
yeah, that's exactly what I said. I watched all the movies and they're fun. If you give them a watch, if you're a horror fan, if you haven't watched them already, but
Depending
whole,
on
like,
your gore amount.
yeah, but like the whole like thing I liked about the Saw movies is that each trap was different, except for maybe the basic one, the reverse bear trap, which came back in a few times, but
Yeah.
everything else was different. Like it was new every time.
I remember actually the one trap where pretty much he trapped this one girl who was cheating on two guys. and pretty much
Oh god.
they were literally
Oh,
they
you're
were
talking
all
about the one that
both
was.
into the saw
Oh God.
and
So that's that's the funny one. So on each end there was the guy she
Funny
dated.
one.
It
is.
is because
It's actually a
so
pretty
in the
funny
middle
one.
is the woman hanging up on chains, and on each side was the two men, and they started off fighting a little bit. Then they looked at each other and said, you know, F this, and they killed her instead. And that's like it cracked me up so much because they
Okay,
did the
yeah,
whole
that is
bro
funny.
thing of like. It
Damn.
said, do we really need to do this? And then they put the saw up and it fell onto her. Because they could choose to kill her or to kill one of the guys. And they chose to just kill her.
Yeah.
Because they both cheated on him
Because-
kind of deal.
Yeah,
Mm.
she
Pretty
was
much
the problem, not each other.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they just
she
did
was
that
yelling at both of them.
I
to
hate
kill
how
each
much
other
those
when one
fucking
was
movies were
winning.
basically like, to the farthest extent, therapy sessions. You know?
They are.
were!
Like, that's the weirdest fucking thing. I will say I'm not a fan of gore,
Well, that's the
but
whole
I am a
point
huge fan of
Saw.
psychological horror. Specifically, psychological torture amongst the stuff
I'm right here.
of...
Oh.
Yes, but psychological torture amongst the thing of you have to find out a way or there's no way out, and then people have to. There is a way out, you just don't want to accept it, sort of thing. And it's like,
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
whole
oh,
thing of
I love that
either
idea.
better yourself or you die.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
And that's why, like, isn't it like after like the second Saw movie, it went to like the chick that he's been attacking, and she becomes like a disciple of him or something?
Yeah. He becomes a disciple, but I don't like her because she has traps that are rigged.
She
Like,
has a
rigged, like,
completely
you can't
different.
win.
Yeah, she's a cheater, sort of thing. Like the way he did it is completely different from the
That's
way
what
she
I
does
hate.
it. Yeah, I can understand that.
He
And
did
that
it
was-
the way Creamer did it is he made it a 50-50 in everyone's eyes. The fact that if you can withstand the pain, you can get out alive. The way she did it
Yeah.
was more of a 70-30. You either withstand a lot of pain or you you die. And then there are some traps where people actually got the key to get out and then the trap proceeded to go off.
It went off
Even though
after
they
the
were out of the
fact,
trap.
even though they were good. Like it's a thing of
Yeah.
you're safe, it should stop. To her, it was a
Yeah.
thing of you think you're safe, you still get got. It's fucked.
It was the her whole thing was you fucked me over, so no matter what you do, I'm just making you see that you have an option.
Yeah. Yeesh.
Mm.
The Saw movies were always a bit
And
too
wait-
rough for my taste. I guess that's kind of why I like the more stories and stuff, because when it comes to gore, I'm okay with reading it, not seeing it. I'm not gonna say I'm the most squeamish guy, because I've watched way fucking worse stuff in real life. But when it comes down to it, I'm not going for the gore, I'm going for the fear factor. Like, it's not a thing of, oh, I'm hoping this person gets out alive. It's a thing of, I want to be pushed to the edge of my seat. And,
That's
riddled.
why I
Don't go in
can't play
there.
a lot of horror games.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Cause like I just playing Alien Isolation, and it's the best kind of experience because all you get is
Oh,
like,
it is.
oh my god, where is it? You know, the suspense.
You
It's
lost
too
a
much suspense
spider,
will push me over
and
the
it hid
edge.
somewhere.
Yes.
You lost a
yes!
spider.
Happened to me 2 days ago
Yeah.
watching Danny Phantom, and it scared the fuck out of me.
We were fucking watching Danny
Oh,
Phantom, and this
where it went.
fucker. We were watching Danny Phantom, and this fucker fucking went to kill a spider, and it fucking disappeared on him. And he's like, "Where is it? Where is
The
it?"
the entire sentence was, got you, fucker. And then I was like, wait, where'd the body go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
It turns out it fucking moved.
That's literally a nope, not today.
That's
It was
great.
so fun because the Danny Phantom intro was playing, and I picked my shoe up off the table, and I heard, he's a Phantom, and the fucking body was gone.
He's a phantom, and it's a phantom. Where the fuck it go? Where the fuck did it go? It was
I
great.
found it 5 minutes
Oh,
later, but
no.
that's not the fact.
Okay, now we're getting into
That's
the more
funny.
controversial topics. How do y'all feel on ghosts or spirits or hell demons.
They're believable to a certain extent in my eyes.
I can honestly feel that myself.
My work is actually haunted.
Understandable.
Do
Do you have any
believe in
stories?
ghosts. I don't know about demons, but
Hey, though, here's the thing. At my work, we actually had 2 people actually
Jado, your mic
have
is a little
heart
quiet.
attacks. Oh,
are you just
Is
not
that better?
close to it?
Much better. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe you just got a little further away. You're good now.
sorry. So what it is at my work, there were 2 people who literally had heart attacks right when everyone left, and the next day they found the bodies on the forklifts and all laid down on the floor.
Huh.
And his thing, when I was working second shift with my fellow coworker, his thing, he walked away to get some water from his machine,
Hmm.
and his thing, when he came back, the coolant on the machine was off, his fan was off, the hose was on the ground. Pretty much, it looked like somebody messed with all his stuff. So he got it back up and all that, and when he looked up, he saw a pale white figure right above him, looking
Oh,
down,
Lord.
Damn.
right behind his machine. He found, now here's the thing, my machine was down, so I had to go and look in another area, but he actually ran to the supervisor to get this ghost out of there.
That's hilarious.
That
That's
actually
interesting, though.
happened.
That's actually really cool. Hell,
Yeah.
if we're sharing
Yeah.
stories, this is the time to do it. I got a ghost story. Well,
I do too.
I mean,
Oh, I got one.
you know what? I'll hold mine for last.
Yeah, we all
Star,
got one.
Star, I'll hold mine for last. So, Star, you first, then CJ, you.
Okay. Well, I used to live in this house, in like right on the border of Pasadena and Deer Park, Texas.
Hmm.
And I only learned from a friend who used to live in the house before, back in when she was in elementary school, that she saw this figure too. But it was a woman. There was 2 kids. They're usually playing in the backyard. You know, just minding their own business.
Yeah.
But then there was a darker figure, which was apparently the dad. Just one night, I'm chilling and I'm getting this uncomfortable vibe from my closet.
Hmm.
And I look and I see this like shadowy figure with like kind of a dull red eye
Hmm.
that is just got this look that he is going to kill you because he is so angry. Charged at me and started choking me. I couldn't breathe for real.
Hmm. God damn.
And eventually I was able to catch my breath again because the figure disappeared. But it had turned out when I had talked to my friend about it, she had told me that she also interacted with the mother of that family, you know, in a ghostly form. And she was basically told by the mom that she killed the kids to save them from the abusive dad.
Huh.
And later on in years, my friend had looked it up online, and it turned out indeed that there was a case with that house specifically where a mother had killed her 2 children in the same exact bathtub, like drowned them both, and then the father killed her, and then he got killed. I think it was like either a police shooting or something, or he suicided. I can't remember.
Suicide by
specifically
cop,
how
something.
He died. Something like that. But basically, like, it ended up being a true event, and all the spirits, like the kids were gone. They moved on, but the mother was staying to protect any children that would move into the house in the future, and the father is just a pissed off spirit who's gonna attack anybody.
Honestly, that kind of reminds me of the story of La Llorona.
La 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 la.
La Llorona. The woman in white. She's basically the Mexican equivalent of a banshee. As in, if you hear her wailing and crying, she drowned her children in the river. God sent her back down to Earth to... Like, she haunts rivers. God sent her back down to Earth to hunt for her children to bring them to heaven. But she doesn't know that her kids are already in heaven. So God sent her on a meaningless task, so she wanders the earth aimlessly looking for her dead children. And she's like a banshee. If
wow.
you hear her wail, it's a bad omen sort of thing.
Yeah, she was the ghost that I experienced was she was like super nice, and like, and she didn't attack. She was gentle with.
She was more of a guardian, I guess.
Anybody she interacted with. Yeah. Like a guardian angel in a way, because all she did was kill her kids to save them from their dad, because they were all under so much abuse.
Mm-hmm.
But, only the dad was, as a spirit, was being, a piece of shit. He attacked me twice. Because once it was just like, I watched him come and charge at me, and then the other, I was having a nice dream, and then he suddenly appears in it. And I can't. I open my eyes and I'm laying there in bed, and I am screaming and screaming, but nothing's coming out. There's no noise. So like, why can't anybody hear me? I was paralyzed. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
I was frozen. And then eventually, I was able to just ever so slightly nudge my body just right to fall off the bed, and that knocked me out of the trance.
Ah. God damn.
It was trippy.
I believe that.
I don't like it. I'm glad it never happened again, but I didn't like it at all.
I can understand that. How about you, CJ? How's your ghost story?
Well, so I got two. I got one from earlier years and one from a year or two ago.
Oh, okay.
Whichever one you want to hear.
Tell us the newer one.
So the one from like a year ago. Okay, so the trailer I used to live in with my dad and my stepmother. I moved out. I am in a different state now, but so in my sophomore year, very how do I put this? A very hard topic for a lot of people. If you don't want to hear this, you can skip ahead. But in my sophomore year, my father committed suicide in one of the rooms in that trailer I used to live in. And I came, so after that, like a week or so after that, it I don't know what it was, but like, I guess you could say his ghost haunts that like trailer now or something like that, because like every now and again I would like feel like a chill go down my spine while going like through the room or passing the room.
Yeah.
And so whenever I go back, which is like every year, I go back to the trailer to see my dog and very subsequently my father's ghost, which like not entirely, but like I can feel him there, kind of deal. So like I know I can, not see him, but like
you get a strange feeling every time you're there.
And I don't know what it was, but I remember specifically closing one door, which this led me to an item, which was really weird. It led me to, I think it was either his glasses or his sunglasses, but it was like an old pair of like some type of glasses. And what happened was I closed my old bedroom door, and I was sitting on the couch, which was like near my bedroom door, and it wasn't oiled at all. So like if it opens like slowly, you can hear the creak. Type of deal.
The creepy.
So like I was sitting there watching like TV or something, and I could hear the door open. And, like, I called out to, like, the only other person that, like, would have been there if they were. So I said my stepmother's name. Nothing. I proceeded to call my dog came to my side, not from that room, but from a room on the other side of the house. And I was like, okay, that's a bit weird. So I got up and I checked it out, and it was, in fact, the door that was my room. So I went in, and the closet was creaked open. So I was like, okay, I'll just check the closet. Maybe something fucking ran in or something like stupid. So
Like
I checked
an
the
animal
closet.
of some sort.
Yeah, like maybe a squirrel was fucking running through or some shit, Because it happens.
Yeah.
Green doors, like, fucked in that house. But, like, I opened the closet door, and there sitting is a case of glasses.
Wow.
Like the hard case, like, sitting on a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I, like, pull them out, and the same spine chill goes down my back. Kind of like he wanted me to have these type of deal, which I do have them somewhere in one of my drawers. It's somewhere, but if I find it, I'll fucking hand it off. But basically, I guess those glasses were the thing that was holding him there or something, like his final message or something like that. Because after that,
It's what he
I
was
never
tied
really
to.
felt that chill anymore. So I took the glass with me back to, my home, like, a few months later, and when I go back there, I don't feel a chill anymore. But, like, touching the glasses, I can feel a small, like, tingle. Maybe some, like, old presence or something.
Yeah, a little bit of his energy is still
Residual.
inside the glasses, but he had moved on. Yeah,
Yeah.
residual energy.
It was weird, but, like, it wasn't scary, but it was more heartwarming than it was scary, even though it was a ghost story.
It was making
That's
amends
a very
from what
sweet
it seems.
story. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, here, son, I'm sorry, have this last gift.
Basically, yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
That is.
I kind of feel fucked up following up mine because mine's hilarious. After a serious
Oh,
story
no.
like that.
No, it doesn't matter. I make fun of that all the time.
No, but
Anything you
fucking...
talk about is hilarious, Halo.
Because I got a story. Okay, so, me and a group of friends that I either no longer have access to, or they don't hang around me much, or they're meth heads. Don't ask about that. Okay,
Not in that order.
okay, they were not meth heads whenever we were doing this. Okay, so, we had this old abandoned school known as Atoka over here in New Mexico.
Toka,
I need to use the
Rosa.
bathroom.
And the whole thing of Atoka School. Okay, he's gonna BRB. Okay, so the whole thing with Atoka
We
School.
should do a small break so that way, our audience can.
Well, yeah. You know what? Sorry to keep
Money
you in
break.
suspense. Everybody take your breaks real fast.
Another beer. Time to relax.
Oh, what are you drinking, Jada?
This entire
some
time
bull.
we've been here, I've been doing nothing but playing a puzzle. Like, I have an actual physical puzzle that I've been putting the edges to, and it's like, where are some of these pieces? I can't find them.
So, Jada, while we're in this fucking break, you wanna fucking discuss what we might have coming up in the next episode?
Well, next episode I'm hoping to do a Sonic episode.
We're hoping to try out some Sonic the
Specifically.
Hedgehog episode. Just enjoy talking about our
Ooh.
childhood, stuff to do with Sonic the Hedgehog, what we have planned, and we'll have probably some new avatars.
And we
Hey,
can know
Sonic
which
Hero.
can, if we want, we
Also,
can do a
Star,
whole
how do you
fucking
actually like?
showcase
Also,
of
Star,
an
how do
old
you-
Sonic model if
Oh,
they
sorry.
want.
Also, Star, how do you like being on the
If you
show?
want.
oh, I love it. This is great.
You
There's a lot
actually
more
enjoy
variety,
this,
isn't
just
it? Like,
having some talking down. Honestly, I thought you'd be a lot more
Yeah.
quiet.
I did too, because, like, especially for the topic of today, I did not think I would know anything of what we were going to be talking about.
Star,
but
the big thing
I
about these
actually
topics is that
know
they
the
cover a
tailbones.
large frame. Never think
Yeah,
that we're
I-
just
I
talking
didn't
about one
realize that
specific
Dildos
thing.
was gonna work in there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things are also
Yeah.
getting triggered because some of these memories, especially because
There's some stuff
I
you
was
don't
very
remember.
impressionable, I could be very scared. Yeah, so I forced myself to forget it, and now I'm remembering like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Ah, you
I have
know?
so many stories of like creepypastas and stuff that I no longer remember, but if anybody says like the slightest word, it'll spark something in me.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go on a
With
tangent.
me, I
Hell, I'm gonna tell a little story. Fucking while me and CJ were actually discussing stuff for today's episode, we came across memes and stuff. Like we were looking at stuff on 4chan, Reddit, shit like that, and we found a meme
Yeah.
of Sonic the Hedgehog in Silent Hill 2. It said Silent Hill Zone. Good luck outrunning your past, Sonic. And it was like, and like out of nowhere, on an fucking autistic whim, I just made a gigantic story of like, oh, Sonic the Hedgehog goes to fucking Silent Hill. Knuckles is dealing with drinking issues. That's why you see him there. Fucking Amy is a schizophrenic, and the only thing she can think of is Sonic, Sonic, Sonic under her breath. And fucking just. And the whole reason fucking Sonic went to Silent Hill is because he blames himself for Tails' death or some shit. Like, I came up with an entire
You got
fucking story
inspired.
by one image. By one image. Like, it sounds fucking stupid and shit, like, told this fast. But whenever I was telling it to CJ, this motherfucker actually imagined it. He was like, fuck, why you gotta make me feel? Because I told, I told a really fucked up story about how Knuckles plays kind of the role of Eddie with James Sunderland for fucking Silent Hill 2. Of Knuckles was dealing with the death of Rouge during a fucking like a spy fucking thing went awry, so he became a heavy drinker alcoholic. And now he just has bags under his eyes. He went on a drunken bender and woke up in Silent Hill, and now he doesn't know why the fuck him or Sonic or anybody else is there, and Sonic's just like, why are you here? I came because I got a note from Taylor's or something. I was like, fuck. Like, it was so stupid.
Wow.
But it was
But so
really
good
it was really
detail.
it was really good detail in the moment, but I was like, one of these days I'll probably read it out or something. But
Talk
I don't
about
know why.
inspiration,
Just
I mean,
like I get randomly inspired by like random small pieces of like stuff. Usually it's because I get
That
that
alone is inspiring.
I get an autistic fixation like really easily, and then I just
Why do
keep
you
keep that one trick mind.
autistic like that?
Because it's true. And plus because I am, so I can say
uh,
that.
Okay, fair. Fair.
It's a thing of because I'm autistic and stuff, I get really bad hyperfixations, but those hyperfixations
I do
lead
too.
me into getting inspired into making or adding on stuff.
Yeah.
What do you know? It's only with shit that I like. Like, for example, fucking Silent Hill and Sonic. I'm both a really big fan of both of those. So, of course, I wanted to be like, you know what? Out of nowhere, fucking brain just started moving the wheels and fucking made an entire fucking little story that
The hamster started running.
The hamster started running, and somehow that hamster creeped the fuck out of CJ because that's shit he. That is shit he's never even thought of or heard of before, though it's still funny. And I guess that kind of comes in
That's
hand with the whole thing of the creepypasta stuff with me, because the fact I can come up with stuff like on a whim like that and make a horrifying story just to fuck with my friends.
Yeah.
I feel like I could get a little further, but I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to take that leap to become a fucking creepypasta artist or nothing, because
I mean, if you make the story, I'll make the comics.
I mean, yeah.
and I make the models.
Oh, shit, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck, I have an entire fucking crew here, and I'm still expecting people to make fucking animated versions of us just fucking talking. Still, though,
Yes.
I say, to the audience, if you have anything, that you remember specifically about creepypastas, the era of 2012 to like 2015, something along those lines. Feel free to drop it down below, any of your memories and stuff that you hold dear, stuff that you find, well, enjoyable about that. Hell, if
Interesting.
you remember a specific creepypasta off of what we've said, feel free to put it down in the comments, and if we got anything wrong, or if it's just a thing of we haven't read these in so long that some stuff we have is the wrong information, feel free to correct us. Leave a like, dislike. Also, feel free to subscribe, because we're going to continue trying to pump these out whenever we can.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that almost sounds like an outro. However, we're just having a
does.
fucking little
We're
bit of
not
a break. Yeah, we're far from over. Yeah, we got another half hour.
Yeah,
We're
that
still
should have
good.
been. You should have saved that for.
Yeah, we're still
should've
good.
did
We
it
still
for
got
the
another half
outro.
hour. Do y'all have any other
Yeah.
like old stories that your family used to tell you? Anything like that?
Oh god. No, not really.
No stories?
I know a long time ago I used to like cuz I was always watching like Ghost Hunters or Ghost Advent never Ghost Adventures.
Finding
but
Bigfoot,
when I was
Ghost
smaller,
Hunters, History Channel, or
Ghost
Science
Hunters,
Channel.
Yeah. I would on my phone. This was back in the day where smartphones weren't exactly smart yet.
Oh, don't tell me
When it
you
was
had
past the
that
flip
fucking
phone.
Ghost Finder app.
I got the Ghost Radar app. It was specifically Ghost Radar, and it would say where they are and say like pick up some words.
Honestly, Star,
would
don't feel
actually
so
sit there
bad.
and try to
I
have
was one of those kids.
conversations.
I was one of those kids that got the night vision cameras, even though it did nothing except make my screen green. You know what I
That's
mean?
Great. Yeah.
That was the worst.
And like my cousin and I, because we grew up together, we're practically sisters. She got it too, and we would sit there and hang out. And like, she also got me into this show, Ghost Adventures, in our like early adult years.
Ah,
And I like still believe in a lot of this stuff, but it's like I can't enjoy it as much without her there. Oh, what was that?
I think that was CJ going across the fucking thing.
Maybe.
I think we had a ghost.
Ah, god damn it.
Oh.
That's funny. Anyways, hey, you guys want to hear something fucking hilarious? That if CJ hears this, he'll lose his shit.
Yes.
Okay, you know how I was talking about La Llorona being the Mexican version of a banshee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the thing. You want to know why that I believe it's Celtic folklore? The Celtic banshee is 100% a myth and has no actual real world cognizance?
Why is that?
The whole reason that the banshee exists was as a folktale story to get children to go to bed. Now, that's not the funny part. The funny part is to get children to go to bed while their parents were fucking.
Oh.
Let me explain.
So they
So
hear the,
the
mom and
moaning
they think it's
of the
ghost.
banshee is the mother having sex, and the children were told to go to sleep as soon as possible, because if you're sleeping, you can't hear the banshee's wail, which is just the mom getting railed. That is a little bit of folklore
Oh.
info that I love sharing anytime anything comes up
That's
for folklore.
great.
I find
That's
that is the funniest
cringe.
fucking piece of like information I know that has to do with stuff
And
like
it's
that.
so believable too.
Cause it makes sense of, oh,
mean-
let's tell our children that there's a ghost outside that'll get them if they don't go to bed. And then they go to the other room and
Yes.
fuck. Oh, that's always
Yes.
been one of my favorite fucking pieces of adding to that tale of if anybody ever brings up the thing of a banshee, I'm like, so your mother kept getting fucked, didn't she? I know where the
Mama's
county
getting
court should be.
happy.
That's funny. Well, appearing by our time. Say, CJ said he was gonna go take a
that
piss, right?
reminds me.
He said bathroom. I didn't hear.
He's
piss
taking a
specifically.
he's taking a shit the size of a man's arm.
Oh my god.
No, he's taking a shit
No,
the
he's
size
not
of
giving birth to your
Texas.
child.
Oh
God.
that's hilarious.
Tejas.
Gross. Okay, so I'm gonna tell this story now, and by the time he's back, he should actually make it. Okay, so me, my friends, some of them meth heads, some of them not, some of them Asian. No idea why that has to do with it, but he says it's because he's Asian, but I don't believe him. Okay, so we went to this old school called Atoka. We snuck in, hopped over the fence. Yes, breaking and entering. Well, basically, what we did, we crawled over the fence, made it into this. We went through this large, desolate hallway. It looked like it could fall in at any moment. We were very quiet, and we just kept walking through the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
I had an invite. Okay, so CJ full on left the world, so he... okay, I was right about him coming back,
I thought
though.
he just went to the back room.
I thought he just went, too. I thought he had to go to the bathroom. He's probably meeting up with his girlfriend.
grabbed
It
That's
happens.
it.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah.
Get on up here, you
he's
fuck...
back.
Don't forget
Fuck you say to
Come
me?
back here.
Don't forget to turn your mic on. Okay,
Don't
so...
make us have to take that off your head and shove it up your other head.
I don't know what he's doing. Anyways, okay, as I was saying, we were going down a long,
I was saying
desolate...
take the pyramid head.
We were going down a long, desolate hallway. We took a left, and then a right, and then another left. It was... We started fucking around with these old chalkboards that we found. Fucking started writing shit on them. There was so much graffiti everywhere. On the wall it said, "Can you feel it now, Mr. Krabs?" I laughed my ass off. I showed you that picture. I took a picture of that day. But what happened was, after this whole thing, we decided to go into one of the back room gymnasiums where the kitchen and stuff, like for where all the kids would eat and stuff. We were kind of half expecting homeless men to fucking jump us there. Luckily, we didn't get jumped. However, we went into the back room, went into the cafeteria, and, well, being dumb, stupid fucking teenagers, we decided to look around. There was a lot more than just graffiti on the ground. Okay, there was exactly
no.
there was exactly 5 of us. There was me, my Asian friend, my large friend and his brother, and our skinny friend. What happened there? There was a big red pentagram on the ground.
Oh.
Yep, best way to start it off. And being the white guy that I am, I convinced all these motherfuckers to join me in doing something. Everybody got on a point of the
No.
pentagram. We locked hands. All of us locked hands. The 5 of us locked hands. There is something going into this why I'm saying we did lock hands. There was no way our hands were free. And I start throat singing like a Mongolian singer, just hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper. Not that song, but yeah, I basically did. Ayah, 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 ayah. But yeah, I fucking started. I started throat singing like really deep, like oh, like fucking. Really fucking deep from the belly fucking throat singing. Sadly, I can't do it right now as I'm a
Native
little hoarse.
American kind of like singing.
We basically did that. And suddenly, out of nowhere while I'm doing that, our hands were all locked, mind you. Something flew at my head. Toong! At the back of my fucking skull, there was a large fucking metal box. Like, you'll know those little boxes that go on the fuse boxes and shit?
Yeah.
like the one that covers the like 3 to 4 fuses to turn on the big lights for the fucking cafeterias and stuff. One of those metal boxes, ting, fucking back of my head.
Ooh.
And then I looked at them, I was like, what the fuck, why'd you throw something? And then I looked down. All of us still have our hands done, and there's no hobos anywhere to, molest us. So, where the fuck did the box come from? And from that moment forward, From that moment forth, I constantly say that was a fucking ghost encounter because there was no way at all of something throwing anything at us. I mean, unless my fucking reverberation of my throat and me fucking just going, oh, fucking. Maybe there was something dangling from the ceiling off of a wire and my reverberation from my fucking throat because deep-ass voice, if you get the resonation just right, fucking causes shit to vibrate. There's a small chance that it might have been that, but I still like to think that it was a ghost fucking hitting me upside the head. Especially since after...
Trying to say, like, stop trying to summon the devil, you little shit.
Especially since after we went out of that cafeteria back room, we saw up in the rafters, there was a fucking albino owl hooting at us.
Ooh. That was definitely somebody's. Yeah, it's some kind of guardian angel there that day because
it was something weird.
Yeah.
It was something. Oh yeah, CJ, speaking of which, while you were gone, I told these two schmucks about a story about how the Banshee never existed. You want to know why a Banshee doesn't exist? You want to know the story behind why Banshees exist?
Don't
Go ahead.
Well, a Banshee is a folk legend to get children to go to bed. Kinda like a boogeyman.
The boogeyman.
However, the Banshee was specifically created by Celtic parents. You wanna know why?
I think I hear a boogeyman come. No, I'm kidding.
You wanna know why the parents wanted their kids to go to bed? So they could have loud, rough, obnoxious sex.
That's what I thought.
The reason the Banshee exists is because the parents told their kids to go to bed, and if the kids heard wailing, it was their mom.
They really said, go to bed.
Yes,
I'll
exactly.
be you in the future.
That's
Damn,
why the whole
do I roll a
thing.
nat 20 on... Give me the fucking day. Wailing. I got a 12.
You got a 12. You don't pass, motherfucker. Say, grab that pot of greed now that everyone can see it. You can enjoy drinking from it if you like.
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We have like 15 more minutes. Does anybody have any stories left? Anything that people want to tell about? Anything interesting? I will say, you know what? I'm gonna plug some channels. You know what? I'm gonna plug some channels.
Some?
If y'all want some more horror-related content and possibly getting a gist of what some of the stuff that we bring up here, feel free to check out the YouTuber known as Bedtime Stories. They create some awesome content that will literally chill you to the bone. It does true crime, monsters. Speaking of which, let's get back on topic of what are some monsters that y'all really like? My personal favorites, just because being Native American, I love the idea of Wendigos, Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers.
Sadly, I will say the Skinwalkers are more taboo, which is, it's kind of a thing of not, hush, hush, don't bring them up. But I honestly wish that people would try to bring about stuff about those ideas more often, especially into the public eye and media. I want to see movies about skinwalkers. I want to see movies about Wendigos. Like, what was
just
that
reminded me
game
of
on
something.
PlayStation? Was it Until Dawn? No. Was it?
Uncharted.
Yeah,
No.
it was Until Dawn or
Until
something
Dawn.
else.
The one. It was a
the one
game
the
with.
survival thing.
It was a survival thing.
It was
A
the
lot
it
of
was a-
quick
yeah.
time events. It had an hourglass with a skull on it, and it was
It had the
about
butterfly
Wendigos.
effect thing.
Yeah, the butterfly effects. It was about Wendigos in the cold state of Alaska or something.
Yeah, but the whole thing of Until Dawn is that Wendigo, when you die, they can turn you into Wendigo. is
It
the whole
wasn't.
thing
Even,
they
it
want.
wasn't even just when you die. It's if you succumb to eating human flesh. I love the
Yeah.
idea of cannibals turning into monsters. I love the idea of body horror. Of you turn into a creature if you let something get the hold of you. Like you let greed overtake you.
But
You
speaking
let.
of which,
Yep, exactly. You really like that pedigree, don't you? I really do too. Thank you,
I
Jado,
can't
for your
say
work
you
on it.
like that.
it's my mug.
Thank you, Jado. This world has really came along nicely.
Actually,
Now,
before we go
so-
and all that, roll the dice. That's the latest thing we added to this one. But,
Oh, it fell. Go get it, CJ. You're up.
Hey,
8. Damn.
motherfucker.
Everybody look at his ass.
I've been
5.
fan service.
What'd that land on?
Yeah, that was
Hey,
one
I
of
actually
the-
landed on the table.
That
Cool.
was 19.
Yes, good. We
Hey.
ended on a good roll. Okay. Well, anyways. Well, we're not really ending
Fuck you, I'm
just
Had a
yet.
re-rolling.
good one.
Do you have
Four.
any monsters that you want to see more of? Especially in the media, stuff that's like, anything that doesn't get shown often? I will say, I'm not a fan of Ruby. But honestly, I wish that they would have went with the Wendigo design. Because I just love the idea of the Wendigo being a monster that people
There's
have
a
to face
meme
off against.
That, there's a meme that reminded me of when you said Skinwalker, and it was me walking to the principal's office, the Skinwalking telling me I have detention.
Yes! Oh, yes! Oh, I love that. Oh, me playing with the local skinwalker and it's a dude petting the deer. I love all those memes and the culture that's like come about it. But I also like the horror section of, Snotty Guy from fucking Megamind. Where it's like me gripping my arm as I'm low on blood because I went out hunting for my old friend that I lost on a hunting accident 5 years ago. And it's like when the skinwalker. It's so stupid.
When the Skinwalkers saw us.
But then there's also that one of, oh, wow, I'm a scary Wendigo. Ooh woo. Not in my woods.
Get out.
This is my. And then
out.
this guy looks back. Nano, nano, nano. And then he pulls up a card. Monster fucker license. Nano, nano, nano. Oh, that one
God.
fucking gets me. Oh, it's so fucking stupid.
Did it.
There is okay.
I will
okay,
say
there
when
is
it comes
one
to
monster
jokes-
that I think there is too much of. There
Huh.
is one monster there is too much of, and that is zombies.
Honestly,
Yes.
we have been
God,
oversaturated in
Yeah.
zombies.
God, Zombieland.
Zombies
we
have
are
been an
just
oversaturated thing.
drowning in it. I am tired of zombies, man.
I'm tired of
There are
infected.
way too many zombies.
I need more actual zombies of
Aren't-
rotten, destroyed, fucking, not some sort of virus. I want something of, skeletons and shit almost coming out of the ground.
Oh, yeah. So like
Yeah.
half.
Like actual
rotting
dead,
away kind of
actual dead.
Like actual Walking Dead instead
Yeah.
of, just people got sick and now they
Yeah,
can't
so
get here.
like rotted and shit. So,
I do
like, you can see
feel
their
that
bone
the
type of
market
deal.
for zombies has become heavily oversaturated. I want to see more
Very.
stuff more along the lines
I-
of demons. Maybe not along the lines of Exorcist, but more so, think of it more like Agony or Dante's Inferno. I would pay to see a movie that was like Agony of depicting hell or someone's ride through it.
Yeah.
Like, I like
Speaking
that idea.
of ride through it,
Huh.
there was a creepypasta where the entire reason of the creepypasta was someone wanted something really bad, right?
Mhm.
Like, you ever wanted something really fucking bad?
Yeah.
So it was like something. It was like Highway Through Hell or something was what it was called. But basically, if you made it through the entire highway, you would get whatever you wanted.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
it was money. Maybe it was a specific item. Maybe like it was a relationship. You know, I don't.
It was
remember what
basically
it
like a
claimed to. It was
genie
like a-
pact thing. It was like a thing of do something
was a
fucked
thing
up
of a
and
genie.
get the thing.
Yeah. I don't think you could do relationships, but I think you could do anything you wanted besides that. It's like money.
It was like
But
deal with a devil.
basically, this guy and a friend. So basically, what happened was you drive down the highway at night because it's all at night, right?
Yeah, it's
They go
always at
off
night.
on the dirt road. Right?
No shit
So it's a dirt
attacks you
road.
during the fucking day.
So they go off on a dirt road, and that's when it starts. So it starts off all easy and shit, and then they turn back onto the highway, and that's when stuff kicks in.
Mm.
It's a mirror of the highway they were just on,
Oh.
but it's different.
You have to drive
So
that
it's like
road,
it's a loop.
and you have to go through it and not stop.
Yes,
I
you have to-
remember
you
that
have to not
story.
stop,
I've heard that
and then
story.
there's like stuff on the woods and stuff like trying to make you stop. Like at one
There's like
point, there were-
construction
they, like, it would
workers in the way,
freeze.
which you have to go around. There's cops that actually try and
Not
pull you
only
over,
that-
but you don't stop.
So there was one where they got into a forest, which was like into the halfway mark, and it was the whole like note that appeared on the like windshield was "Do not look outside the windows after a certain point."
Yeah.
Basically, what happened is that there's these ghostly figures on the side of your
Riding
like,
on the side,
view.
and they're ready to take you
And
to hell.
Yes. Yeah, and you can only look forward. If you look to the side or right, you fail.
Or
and
if you looked
basically
in your
die.
back mirror, yeah.
You would. If you looked at them, what would happen was you don't die. You would just go through the entire thing, and then it would loop. You would forever be in that loop.
Mm.
That's how it would work. You don't completely die outright. It was the loop, and once you run out of gas is when they get you.
This
'Cause
whole
you're
thing
looping.
of people like down on their luck or just like having nothing to live for and doing stupid shit like that, like because they can sort of thing, reminds me a lot of the game The Midnight Man. Y'all ever hear the story about the
Yes,
Midnight Man?
Yes.
Where you
I
have
have
to
not.
The whole door thing.
the whole thing is you go to a doorway, lock everything in your house. You cannot use a phone light or a lighter. You have to have a candle
You
and
have
matches.
to use a candle.
You hold
And
the
if the
you
candle
hold the
went out,
candle
you
and
have to
matches.
surround yourself in
Oh.
salt.
If the candle goes out, you have to light it as quickly as you can, and if that fails twice, you have to surround yourself in a circle of salt and wait for morning.
Yes.
But the whole thing behind the Midnight Man is you write your name on a piece of paper, and then you put a drop of
In
blood from
blood.
your finger. No, you don't have to write your name. You don't have to write your name in
You
blood. You
don't-
just have to write your name and then put a
Oh.
drop of blood on the
it's your
paper.
thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you put it at the front of the door, look at the door, knock on it 3 times, and then it's like some sort of chant of the midnight game is close at play or something. And then after that, all the lights are off. It has to be pitch dark. The only thing that is allowed to have light is the candle.
Is a candle.
And you have to go to
Wow.
different rooms in your house and keep avoiding the Midnight Man because you have accessed the midnight game. So if you see your candle begin sparking, then you will actually have a situation of he's probably in that room. That means for you to go to the next room before your candle gets blown out. And it's like such a horrifying
Oh,
game.
shit.
And I love the idea of it. I would never try it myself, but I love the idea of it's
you
just a
push-
fucking
No, I'm kidding.
it's a random fucking occult ritual of do random bullshit, keep something at bay, don't go near something, and then oh, you had a fun day.
Random bullshit,
Yeah,
go.
we had fun with a demon, you know. Like I always love that
You
little
know, this is making
like
me
that's
want to play Phasmophobia.
yeah, honestly. Speaking of which, we need to get a fucking video on that one of these days. But I
No, last time
believe
I went there, you locked me in the fucking house.
You were correct.
Actually, how about this? Hey, viewers, vote for us for what game you would like to see us play.
Honestly, well, maybe not a vote, but just put in the comments below if you want to see us react to something. Chances are we've played a lot of stuff, but we're always open to new shit to try, especially if it'll ring y'all in.
Oh yeah.
Anything for the
You're
viewers.
not the ring lady
Oh
anymore.
yeah, she's not the ring lady. We tried to get her a fucking The Ring avatar, but it didn't fucking work. But honestly,
Yeah.
I think right now might be a good time for this. Get on over here, CJ. We're gonna be doing the outro. Ah,
hi.
Ghostface.
I like this.
I do
like this a lot
like
more.
it.
I thought I was gonna like it.
I do like how whippy it is.
Oh shit.
Anyways,
Good enough.
I will say, thank you all so much for stopping by the Night Sanctum tonight. It's been fun having you. It's been fun introducing one of our newer guests, Star. It's been fun having you, Star.
Ah. It's been great being here.
I'm glad that we've actually gotten to discuss some stuff. And if you have any criticism, anything to actually put down not in the description, but in the comments, if you have anything you want to see, anything you have for us to check out, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And CJ, would you like to plug yourself?
Yes. Mr. Pyramid Head on YouTube or on Twitch. I will be uploading, like I said, once we get this live, I will be uploading the clips from the live. And I am making another playlist with a friend about video games. So if you want to check that down in the subscription, go ahead. Also, because I know Dead by Daylight people are going to bitch at me for it, I'm going to boop the snoot, so...
Everybody move the... That's funny.
I knew it was gonna happen. Someone's gonna say that you shouldn't.
Oh yeah, they're all gonna be
so I have
fucking
to
mad
do
as
it at
shit.
least once.
But okay, well, thank you everyone. Check everything out in the description down below. Leave a comment and do all that shit. We'll be seeing you later. Bye. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Adios.
Yes.
And babbity boopy.